Good evening and welcome everybody to N-Simplex Pachinko. This is Obi-Wan Pez, and tonight I'm going to be delving back into the Forgotten City, and we're going to see how far we can get. I know that there are time loopy things in this, so I'm hoping we're going to actually see a time loop this time. Honestly, I have no doubt it's going to happen. It's only a matter of a short amount of time, I'm sure. But me being the typical completionist that I am, going to every single person and exhausting every single dialogue option. Alright, so we're going to get into it. Going to go to the minicam, knock out the music, and hopefully this will come up. So, hope everybody had a good week. It's been a little hectic over here. My spouse volunteered as the my spouse volunteered as the cookie manager for the Girl Scouts. So naturally, we have like all of the boxes for our entire Girl Scout troop. So there are 75, and I don't mean like, you know, boxes. I mean like, where am I? Here we go. I'm talking boxes that have like 12 boxes in each of them. It's a little crazy. So we spent a good portion of the evening sorting them out. Well, I should say my spouse spent the evening sorting them out. The kids started helping her and then got quickly bored. And me, I was some wiped from the week. I was just out on the couch for half of it, but we will get into our... Here we go. Alright, here we are. Sorry, I needed to actually get my mobile device to be my monitor for the evening. So, gonna get back into it. We are currently at the, I believe, like the captain of the guard's house and talking with him and his couple of daughters, I think, about what was happening. There was an inscription on that large plaque there, and unfortunately I was unable to read it before the ground gave way and I fell 100 feet to my, well, wasn't doom. I hit water. Which, honestly...
On your best behavior, I trust?
Gracious.
What now?
I think we've already done everything here. Yeah.
All right.
Do I need to ask Horatius to escort you out of here? Get out, you horrid barbarian!
Okay. Or not. I was gonna have a chat, but you know, you want to be like that, I guess. Alright, so we cannot pick up objects, or at least it seems. Right, zoom in. Okay, so we've got animals surrounding a person in the middle. Is there any sort of help here? No? Okay. We've got on this side bowl of fruit. Seemingly random pattern. Mathematician is trying to figure it out, but it's probably not anything in particular. Ooh. Note from Centilla. Centilla writes she has decided to escape. Centilla to Sentius and Sensia, may Clementia give you the strength to forgive me. I'm sorry to leave you this way, but I've found a way to escape, and I must take it. I hope we meet again someday. Huh. Let's take it. Ceramic ink jar. Ink appears to be made from soot and water. Leave. Vial. Small vial containing rudimentary perfume made from flowers and oil. Okay. Comb. Brass mirror. Brass has been polished into a rudimentary mirror, which has been used for applying makeup. It is a very large compact. Alright, same deal. Although, right, just real quick, cursory look at the bottom, just in case somebody scrawled something somewhere, because, quite frankly, that's the sort of thing I would expect. Brass jar containing some sort of powder for makeup. Okay. Nothing here. Ooh. I think we'll pass for now. I don't need money that badly, but I can keep that in mind for later. Oh, right. Crimes. Doing crime is a bad thing here. Alright, look. I know your sister ran away.
Do I need to ask Horatius to escort you out of here?
Alright, fine. Can I just show you the note to show that I know? No, that's not what I wanted. Interesting. Figure out who is most likely to break the golden rule and inform Sentius. Probably me, let's be honest. Domitus has been intimidating voters into voting for Malleolus.
On your best behavior, I trust? What now?
Oh, it's not him. I see.
All right.
It's not Horatius, right? So let's tell Sentius. Okay, so where is Sentius? Oil lamp. Very nice. Produce bowl. Carrots are purple, as they were before modern orange carrots were cultivated. True story. It's no doubt unpleasant cooking with such poor ventilation, but Romans probably regard that as their servant's problem. Mood. Alright. Jesus, man. Roman fire shovel made of bronze that smells like ash. Ash. Sculpture of Ares, Greek god of war, known to the Romans as Mars. Yep. Ooh. It's hollow in the middle when you can just, pass through the thing. Alright, let's see. Vial, same. Dear diary. Sensi believes everyone is entitled to their secrets. Today my father suggested I write a diary as a way of keeping myself occupied while we all deal with the sudden and devastating disappearance of my sister. As a dutiful daughter, of course I shall oblige. The following pages contain all of my innermost secrets. Oh man. I know you're reading this, Father. I may be young, but do not think me stupid. We're all entitled to our secrets. You know what? Let's go back and change a couple of things. Denaris 17. No, I gotta stop doing that.
On your best behavior, I trust?
For now. Meanwhile, everybody is glossing over the fact that I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt. $246, alright. Lararium. Small household shrine where ancient Romans offered daily prayers for protection. House gods. Note from Centilla. Centilla to Sentius, may Jupiter Optimus Maximus continue to protect and guide you. Thank you for making me your daughter, and for the lovely birthday pendant. I promise I will wear it always. I feel so safe and fortunate to have you as my father and Sensia as my sister. I sense you've been feeling apprehensive about the election next month, but if you can just show them the strong and dependable man I know you to be, you will be re-elected, I'm sure of it. Here we go.
Citizen? You've returned. Do you have any news about your investigation?
I was hoping you were going to ask some... I was hoping to ask you some questions about my investigation. These questions will be available later, okay?
Good. Now, was there something else you wanted to discuss?
Literally nothing on that chart that I didn't already do. What's your story?
Sextus Sentius Imperiosus is my name, though magistrate is the proper way to address me. Before I wound up here, I was a decurion in the cavalry of Imperial Rome, helping protect civilization from the barbarians.
But who are the true barbarians? What's a decurion?
It's a cavalry officer. I had 30 men under my command. This was my uniform. As magistrate, I usually wear a toga, but today I may need to survive long enough to create the portal for you, so it seemed prudent.
How'd you end up
My
here?
men and I were at the Emporium in Rome as honor guard for a visiting dignitary arriving upriver by barge. Now the port is usually bustling, but just as our guests arrived, waves of people began running toward the river from streets and alleyways in every direction. They were trying to escape a terrible fire, Unfortunately, the crowd sent my horse into a panic, and I remember it losing its footing by the water's edge. The next thing I knew, I was waking up on a riverbank not far from here in the company of some stranger. I went looking for my horse.
Did she call herself
and
Karen?
Discovered that lonely temple. You can probably figure out the rest.
Because I have a feeling she might be a witch.
I was elected 7 months ago, uncontested because of my command experience. Since then, there's been growing agitation for another election. They're supposed to be annual, but I agreed to hold it sooner, hoping it would placate my constituents. Unfortunately, it just seems to have emboldened certain elements instead.
Okay.
Very well. If I did, I'd have led these people out of here already. I've had plenty of time to think about it. Let me see if I can sum up my thoughts. I've always considered my guiding star to be the well-being of the Roman people. Our survival and prosperity have always hinged upon honoring the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. Give the gods what they want and we all prosper. Dishonor them and we all die. It's as simple as that. The real enemy in this place is not the golden rule, but human failings. The temptation to slide into degeneracy, greed, and hubris. I trust that answers your question. Of course, what is it?
Can we talk about who's going to break it? Yeah.
Yes? Why do you say that?
He's been trying to intimidate people into voting for Malleolus.
So I'm told. This is truly atrocious behavior, which undermines the very foundations of our democracy.
But not.
Thank you for bringing this to my attention. But before we proceed, I must ask, are you sure he's the one?
Second thought, I don't think it's him.
See. In that case, it looks like you'll have to continue your investigation. Of course. What?
I'm gonna totally
Yes? Why
implicate
do
your
you say
daughter.
that?
She seemed awfully relaxed about Scintilla's disappearance.
You seem to be grasping at straws here. I can assure you, she is most upset about her sister. As am I. It looks like you'll have to continue your investigation.
Nice
Now,
try.
was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Well,
Thank
better
you.
get back to
I'll
it.
be waiting here for news.
I get the feeling that even if I do find out who the person is, it's going to be a matter of actually putting a stop to it. No, okay. Just moving statues. That's fine.
Fresh meat, huh? What were you two talking about?
Sorry, what?
Don't play dumb. I saw you. Having a shady little chat with old man Sentius up on his balcony. What's he offering you? Money? Favours? What's your vote worth to him?
We weren't talking about the election.
What else would you be murmuring about on election day? Mark my words, Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day. And if I tell him you've sided with that feeble old has-been, that you've been trying to undermine his hard-won victory, you'll have picked the wrong patron. Got it?
I wasn't thinking of interfering, but now I am.
Oh, you just made a big mistake. Malleolus is going to hear all about this, and he'll make you suffer the tortures of Tartarus while you're still alive.
Good luck with that.
Stir Commodite. Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
Why not? I wasn't, but now I am.
Very little cack at murder, aren't you?
Why shouldn't I go down
Nobody's
there?
told you about Hannibal? Oh, Why do I have to do everything round here? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. Used to go down into the cisterns looking for junk he could clean up and sell. One day, a few weeks back,
Capo
he comes out and
Murder
tells
is
me
shithead.
the cisterns are haunted. Said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because who trusts a Carthaginian, right? Anyway, a few days later, he goes back in. And hours go by, and he hasn't come back out, yeah? So I go down after him, and it's dark. But in the distance, I can just make out his body, sprawled out on the ground. And hunched over him was something that made my blood run cold.
Yeah, what's that?
No word of a lie. I saw
A vampire.
a creature. Like the corpse of a man who'd been flayed. And it was eating Hannibal.
Wouldn't that have broken the golden rule?
If it was a man, maybe. But I swear on my life this was no man. More like a Strix. Or some Versipelus that feeds on human flesh. I didn't stick around to see which.
What did you do?
What any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there and put a sign at the door to warn the others.
Great story. Still going down there.
Without a weapon? Well, it's your funeral.
Oh, man. Making fun of that guy seems too easy. Yep, okay. Peeled statue. Come on up, dare ya. Found your beastie.
Os in Coolio mio.
Os incurio meo. Bone in my sack? Perhaps suck it? Mouth in my sack? That's some interesting swearing they got going on. I wonder if they actually researched that. Auto. Same deal. Let's get that more toward the center there. Equitas. Yeah. Got anybody in particular? Nope. Alright. Cool. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Same thing. Alright. Nothing new there. Sculpture of Minerva, Roman goddess of strategy. Also known as Athena in the Greek world. Coin pouch, steel. Octavia. Note. An anonymous friend to Octavia, may the Lord bless and keep you. I'm sorry I could not risk discussing this with you in person, but if I'm right, then you're a believer like me. You may not be able to worship openly here, but I know that you're not alone. Christian. If you ever feel like you need somewhere to pray, there is a special place waiting for you deep in the caves behind the theater. Turn right at the first fork, and again at the second. Cool. Well, made of brass. It kind of does that. Hey, Superbrain. Because your phone went off? Turn off my notifications, man. No alarm or nothing. Alright, apparently can't jump it. Oof. Yeah, at the moment it's pretty quiet. There's nothing really going on. Been wandering around, letting the statues look at me, and talked with the big boss over there, and talked with a couple of the people who are just standing around, not really doing anything at the moment. Ah.
Give me a moment. Sorry I'm such a mess.
Ah, okay.
I just lost a patient and a dear friend. Yulia. She was a good woman.
What happened?
She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing.
Yes, the heads do
And
turn.
I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing.
That sucks.
And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule, or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath.
Is there something I can do?
Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that Silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that Genetricum Fututo and scratching his eyes out.
I'll see what I can do. So what's your story?
I'm Lucretia, and I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not a physician. This is Nevia's clinic. I've just been filling in ever since she disappeared. I'm tired and out of my depth and miserable all the time. But I'd rather take this on myself than let one of you lot mess it up.
Hey, come on. How'd you
My
end up here?
husband and I moved to Rome from Caesarea. He embraced the Roman way more than I would have liked and turned into an awful philanderer. I would have divorced him and demanded the return of my dowry, but I knew he would sooner have me killed than give me my right. So I waited for the right time to take what was mine and disappear. And then the fires came. As he prepared to evacuate our villa, I gathered our most precious belongings, coins and gemstones, and the moment his back was turned, I ran. I could barely see for the smoke, and the streets were full of people trampling each other. I ran for the river, like everyone else, and leapt in. The next thing I remember, I was waking up on a riverbank, not far from here.
A lady named Karen was helping you up, huh?
It's all right. Say what you will about this place. At least my fornicating husband will never find me.
That's
And
fair.
while there's no shortage of snakes here, at least with the golden rule, they have to try to be discreet about it.
Or are you working out of a shrine?
This shrine was in use as a clinic long before any of us arrived here. Kind of strange to set up a clinic in the temple of the god of disease. But the god who inflicts a curse is also the only god who can undo it. So I suppose praying to Apollo for healing kind of makes sense.
He's also the god of medicine, but okay.
Well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician, but she was the closest thing we had down here. And she was good, too. Until she suddenly lost all interest in us. One day she told me she'd made some profound discovery about the golden statues. This changes everything, she kept saying. But I had no idea what she was talking about. The last time I saw her, the last time any of us saw her, she was muttering to the statues, like she could talk to them. And then she shut herself in the palace, barred the door from the inside, and nobody's seen her since. She's been gone so long now, we figure she's either dead or up to something so strange that she doesn't want anyone else to know about it. But I really wish I could reach her, because that's the only hope I have of solving a troubling problem, a real thorn in the paw situation. One of my patients is suffering from terrible rheumatism. His joints are inflamed and he's in constant pain.
Do we have some Tylenol?
I really shouldn't say. He wouldn't like it. And he's a little bit scary. He's become so irritable that the smallest things set him off. And I worry he'll end up losing his temper and lashing out. And you know what that means. I just know Nevia would know how to treat him, assuming she's still alive. But nobody seems to know how to get into the palace.
Let's see what I can do.
Thanks, I suppose.
What do you think about the
A
golden rule?
city without sin might sound good on paper, but whoever dreamt it up didn't think it through. Maybe it was an attempt to create some kind of utopia. But snakes like Decius will always find loopholes to exploit. And what can we do about it? Absolutely nothing. In some ways, we are worse off because we can't take the law into our own hands.
Keep hearing the statues whispering. Is that normal?
Oh no. Sorry, I don't mean to worry you, but no, that is definitely not normal. There was one other person who claimed she could hear the statues talking to her. But that was Nevia, and she went a little mad.
Yeah, so I don't know about the Golden Rule pretty much anything at this point. I have not seen it go off. I have not seen anything about it happening. All I know is that
Well,
it
she
gets
used to
triggered
run the
somewhere.
clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician, but she was the closest thing we had down here. And she was good, too. Until she suddenly lost all interest in us. One day she told me she'd made some profound discovery about the golden statues. This changes everything.
Yeah.
The last time I saw... And then she's been gone. But I really... One of my patients... He's become so irritated. I just know Nave. Thanks, I suppose.
Can we talk about Yulia?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Do you think she was poisoned or self-inflicted?
Do you really want to know? I mean, if somebody poisoned her, then surely they would have broken the golden rule. And so maybe it's best we don't discuss it.
Yeah, ignoring the problem will make it go away. Do you know what poisoned her?
Hemlock, I believe.
Is there any reason she might have wanted to die?
I haven't seen her in months. She's not allowed to leave Malleolus' villa, and they are quite secretive.
I wonder if she was going to vote for the other person.
Gladly. I wish. Some people here need proper medical care, not the half-baked, hanging by a thread excuse for treatment I'm giving them. Just don't get sick or injured here. I'll do my best to treat you, but I'm out of my depth and dangerously short on everything you can imagine. Well, come back if you get sick or injured. Day or night, I'll do
You
what
just
I can.
told me not to. Anyway. A collection of barbaric-looking medical implements, including forceps and shears. Come on now. I always like watching
May
Star Trek
Apollo
4,
keep you safe.
The Journey Home, when Bones is screaming about all the barbaric medical implements that they are using. Mortar and pestle. Haven't changed much in the last 2 millennia. Herb rack. Wooden rack containing various dried and ground substances. Statue of Apollo. Okay. I'm sure that's against the...
May Apollo keep you safe.
I'm sure that's against TOS. It's art. There we go. That's my loophole. Okay.
Greetings and salutations. Greetings. I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of
Don't you just love
sandals,
springtime?
trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled, tested trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail?
You'd never believe me if I told you.
And now you have me more intrigued than before. But since it appears you do not wish to share, I will wait until we are better friends. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
What's your story?
My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forest.
Well, I set up a tailor shop here.
You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule, and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all?
More or less.
I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads. Don't you agree?
Fair enough. How'd you end up here?
A good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself.
Why don't you tell me what you do remember?
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares. And droning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact.
You fell in the
Now,
river.
I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa.
Okay. So you floated down the Tiber?
Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated
What?
by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am.
Let's talk about something
Anything
else.
you like.
You know a way out?
Shh! Not so loud. What are you playing at?
Sorry, did I say the wrong thing?
Have you not been told about the last attempt? Oh, then I suppose this duty falls to me. Ah, it is a long story.
Today is a sad day.
It's perfect timing. Why don't you tell me?
Of course, the first question any of us asks when we first arrive is, how do I escape? It is only natural after all. And scaling the chasm wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bathhouse. See, the shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make a series of ladders and climb one's way out.
Guessing I don't have time for that. I can do that.
I admire your enthusiasm, my friend, but please allow me to explain why this is inadvisable. There was an attempt made by resourceful fellows who lived here some years ago. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to carry the first ladder down the hallway, they heard a godlike voice shake the entire city, and that, tragically, is where their tale ends. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place, and so I say it is best to not even discuss it aloud.
Okay. Fascinating theory. What do you think about the Golden Rule?
Yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me. It is how our gods operate.
Why do you say that?
Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth, so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks, and the rivers dried up. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands, until at last the other gods were forced to act, lest they have no worshippers left. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. The Golden Rule has merely brought it into focus.
What can we do about it?
If we are to survive, I say we must each heed the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus, first of the 7 sages of Greece, who said, "Avoid doing what you would blame others for doing."
Sounds simple enough.
It does, doesn't it? But it is not enough for us to do this alone. For even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone in the blink of an eye by a single selfish act.
Thales of Miletus was also the one who first figured out how tall the pyramids were by using similar triangles. So, interesting that his name is brought up here. I know, I've seen it happen.
Ah, the voice of experience. I am sorry for your loss, my friend. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing for the Golden Rule. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing. Do they
Yeah,
not?
I noticed. Who are you gonna vote for?
That, my friend, is quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Malleolus. I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domitius if I voted the wrong way.
Anything I can do to change that?
Nothing comes to my mind, my friend.
I'll be going.
I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
Ceramic bowl. Archaeologist insight, or ceramic fruit. Ceramic bowl full of urine, which Romans used because of its ammonia content to wash and bleach their clothing.
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff, and I think, whatever is in there, it has to be important. Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Virgil. You arrived on a sad day, friend. What with Julia's death? I wish we could have met under better circumstances.
What's your story?
Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was back in Rome. That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people.
I recognize
kind
that
of
almost
thing.
immediately as
But
well.
you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture or mysterious history of this place.
I'm also wondering, given the color of his clothing, I'm wondering when he's from. Probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture. Tell me about the city's history.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Some of these shrines, they're constructed hundreds of years ago, which means Romans have been arriving here for at least that long. But there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all. It's Greek.
Isn't it common for Romans to copy Greek art and architecture?
Well, yes, that could be the reason. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far older than any of us imagine?
Probably.
If only there was a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The stories they could tell.
Oh, you mean like chatting with golden statues? Okay, so that idea means that this is certainly not the first time that this has gone through, and perhaps the previous group previous group has already had the, golden rule, wiped all of them out, turned them into gold statues, and now we're seeing the remnants of whoever's left. Architecture.
Gladly. Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueducts. Those series of adjoining arches. They're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering with a very practical purpose. They take fresh water coming from outside the city and distribute it all across the chasm. It's funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the great temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern beneath the villas, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake and allows us to fish and farm.
If they bring water into the city, could we use them to escape?
Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the gods for all we know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find a way inside somehow. Just, please, try to be a bit more discreet about it.
Tell me about the temple up on the bluff.
You mean the Great Temple? This one's a bit of a mystery. Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us, it's clear that whoever built it felt it was the most important temple in the city.
Zeus?
Unfortunately, someone else went out of their way to keep its purpose a mystery. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god, like Proserpina or Diana or Apollo. Usually, that god is obvious. But in this case, it's unknown. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. But it appears some barbarian defaced it. And of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that contains the treasury. So we're all left wondering, which god is that temple dedicated to? And could it be the one responsible for the Golden Rule? Unless somebody figures out a way inside, I suppose we'll never know. Of course.
No, I'm good at finding things. No way out?
You wouldn't believe how often the new ones ask that question. But I'd tell you the same thing I tell everyone else. There are much worse places to live out your days. You might have a few sleepless nights thinking about the Golden Rule, but once you get used to the fear, knowing that a single slip-up could cost you everything, it's not too bad. Nothing new to me, anyway.
What do you mean?
Oh, I just mean I grew up in the Batavi tribe, far to the north in Noviomagus, and learned to expect a bit of hostility. They weren't nearly as tolerant as the Romans.
Batavia. Ah, Jakarta. Oh, no, wait. That's something else there. Batavians. Nederlanden. Yeah. From Batavia. Yeah, that helps. No, seriously, man, come on now. I mean, clearly this is not Indonesian. Come on now. Ancient Germanic tribe living in the region of Batavia around Nijmegen. Branch of the Chatti, which occupy the territory of modern Holland. It's not giving me any like good time periods or anything like that, but you know. Historical places. There we go. No, that's fair. But a lot of the other people are wearing very drab sort of garb. So I was thinking that like he doesn't seem like he's from the same kind of either time period or again he's from a Germanic tribe rather than actual Rome, so I don't know. So it looks like the region that he's talking about, like Batavia, is maybe also partially including Passau in southeast Germany, but I don't know. There we go. Specifically, yeah, that's weird. But that's not... man. That's weird, because it's not around Netherlands. Which is where the other thing says it is. I don't know. It's weird. So Roman era looks like we're talking somewhere around yeah. We're talking somewhere around 100 CE and after. So it's interesting, at least, you know, time-wise. All right, what do you think about the Golden Rule?
Some people say it's divine, the work of a god, but I'm not so sure. It just seems so flawed to me. Like it's distinctly human. I mean,
Yeah.
once you've been here long enough, you'll notice people doing things that just seem so wrong to you. But this so-called god doesn't seem to care, which means one of two things. Either you don't know the difference between right and wrong, or this unknown god doesn't. And I'm pretty sure I know the difference. Do you?
I think so, yes.
Good. Then I hope you'll agree that there are only two ways of dealing with unfair rulers. The first is to leave. The second is to remove the ruler from power. And it seems leaving may not be an option.
I hear you.
I'm glad. It's best if I say no more, but I hope you'll give it some thought.
I noticed the graffiti. What does it mean?
Oh,
I haven't actually,
It
but
means
whatever.
someone thinks I'm a sinner, and that I'm going to break the golden rule.
Why does someone think that?
Look, I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody
Yeah.
just has a problem with my preference for male company.
I see.
And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagus, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the Batavi.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Nice of you to say, but not necessary. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or at least I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong.
Do you know who's writing the graffiti?
It's not just graffiti. I have quite a collection of handwritten notes too. The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists.
Cultists?
Strange bunch. They insist there's only one god, and that He considers my nature a sin. Can you believe that? If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the golden rule.
Let me look into it for you.
What? Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused.
Let's see what I can do. Who are you gonna vote for?
Malleolus is talking about loosening some of the restrictions in this place. And while it's all a bit vague, at least he has a vision.
Alright, well, election's on. Virgil looks busy. Let's go over to where the election is and see what's going to happen, because clearly... Oh, Dooley's note. I did not do it, Dooley.
Hello?
What's your story?
My name's Dooley. I live here now because I got in trouble and they said they had to lock me up.
What'd you do?
I don't know. I don't remember things so good. I think it's just because I was looking for treasure.
Somebody think you were going to steal?
Yes. But I wasn't. I was just looking.
Is that all?
They said I did it more than once. But I can't remember things so good. Then they called me mean names.
Liability?
Yes. They said I have to live here now. And gave me this letter. But I'm not good with words. Do you think you could read it for me?
Oh, sure. Oh. Magistrate Sentius to Duilius, I'm writing you into your relation to your incorrigible antisocial behavior arising from your obsession with an alleged lost treasure. While I am sympathetic to your plight, also the passing of your guardian Hannibal some weeks ago, I wish to impress upon you that an important message: the treasure you seek does not exist. Given your memory limitations, it seems likely you simply misremembered. More importantly, since you have on several occasions been caught trespassing, including around the cisterns, which are strictly off limits to all citizens, I have reluctantly come to the conclusion that you are a liability to this community and must have your freedom limited, lest you break the golden rule. It is my hope that this letter will assist you to remember why you are incarcerated should you experience further lapses in memory. Yeah, good luck with that.
What does it say?
It says they caught you trespassing several times. They locked you to stop you from breaking the golden rule.
My treasure!
What treasure?
My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said he always would. But then, he died. It was very sad. He said, if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious hidden away. He gave me this key and made me promise to keep it safe until I found the treasure. But I couldn't find it.
Okay.
All I remember is he said something about the cisterns, but when I went up to the high one, they put me in here. Now nobody looks after me, except my friend Galerius and Ek.
me the key, I can find out what it unlocks.
Hannibal said I shouldn't give it to anyone I didn't trust. But maybe you could help me get out of here. Then I would trust you a lot.
Yeah. Let me talk to the magistrate for getting you out of here.
Galerius already tried that. He said the magistrate wouldn't listen, no matter what.
Maybe it's time we had a new magistrate.
Like Galerius. He's nice. I like Galerius. He made me a doll and everything. If you help make him magistrate, he can get me out of here, and I can give you the key to my treasure. Hannibal said it was in the cisterns. I can't remember what it was, just that it was way up high and very precious.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh, curses.
It's the statues. They're alive.
Oh, okay.
It's real! The golden rule is real!
What the hell, man? So, like, they're telling me to hide here? Georgius. Okay. That's too bad. Right. Bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Note from Lavia. The place is called the Curse. Here Titios offers his innards to be torn, stretched out over 9 fields. You, Tantalus, cannot reach the drips. Water. The tree you grasp at eludes you. You, Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone that always returns. Ixion turns, follows after himself and flees. 49. Velides, who dared to plot the destruction of their cousins, their husbands, fetch again with incessant labor the water they have lost. Okay. Cool, cool. Oh, I can't do anything there. Okay, well, this way, so why not? What's going on here? They're fighting. It's probably not allowed. Might be climbable if only they could support my weight. Cool. Might be time to go back to Georgius. This is decidedly not the way to Georgius. Goose eggs. Why are there butterflies around it? Covering, pointing, reaching. Dropped thing. What is that? Hope that's not hemlock. Could be, I suppose. Alright, do. Really? You're missing point blank. Oh, nice. You are actually dead. Oh man. All right, cool. Haha. Well, that's a ways. No chance, huh? Can't just kick him out of the water? No, I did not. So I was like talking with somebody and yeah, I didn't do anything wrong, allegedly. I was just talking with people. Crushed creature. Emaciated human-like creature spattered in gold. Appears to have been crushed to death while entering the cistern from the cave beyond. Cool. He has no idea where I am. Just the way I like it. Okay. What? What do you want? Yeah, I don't think asking for the key was bad. Because I didn't actually take it from him. Okay, nothing there. So just asking for the key isn't bad, at least as far as I can tell. Yeah, the issue, I'm pretty sure the issue comes from somebody at the amphitheater where they're doing the elections. Alright, I think I looked at everything in there. At least as far as I can tell. Alright, well I got like 20 minutes now. And I gained some information, even if my character didn't.
What's in Coolio, me?
Okay, unlock the door, it doesn't work. Jump up here. Right, we're back here again. Cool. Right, we can go back up the hill. Oh, that problem's gonna be fixed soon enough. Alright, so Lucretia, probably have to go back and talk to her because I'm pretty sure.
Give me a moment.
Yeah.
She was, and I that, then that, anywhere. So, and now, well, get me. I don't. I swear.
What's your
I'm
story?
I'm tired.
How'd you end up
My
here?
I would so as he I could the next. It's alright. And what? Oh, kind of. But oh, kind of. Well, until this the and then she's been gone. But I read one of my. I
Go on.
just really. Feeling all right?
Do you know way out?
I wish.
Go to the golden room.
Absolutely.
Keep hearing whispering. Is that normal?
But well,
Oops.
until this
Right.
the and then she's. But I one of. I really he's become. I just. Thanks. Sure. Do you Hemlock? I haven't seen. Well,
Oh, what the crap. That's not fine. Her body's just literally not here. It's fine. It's totally
may
normal.
Apollo keep you safe.
Locked old chest. Alright, cool.
Greetings and salutations. Great, and leather. I have, and is this a riddle, or perhaps you mean to say you feel like you are ahead of your time? I feel the same way. Another reason for us to stick together. We will
Most
have
people were
much
distracted
time
to do
here
it,
to
yeah.
get to know one another. But for now, do you?
What's your story?
You mean? I say.
Suppose so.
If we all end up as a good, I read, and we now this time when I indeed in any I went anything. I must stop. Have you? Oh, of course. And but as they say, see, I admit there was they heard so. Have you? When did it? So, if we avoid it, for it, sad. But for all that, nothing. I hope that.
Collection of dyes appear to be extracted from plants and insects. Keep hearing a statue move, but I don't actually... Ah, there we go, in the corner.
Make sure you stay away from that empty shrine. It's going to collapse at any moment.
Roman anvil, pair of bellows, shawl examining, yep, same thing. There we go. They may not see you yet, but I want you to know I see you. Actually. Okay. Do you really want to be responsible for the sin that destroys us all? I know who you are and what you want. Turn away from this path before we suffer for all of your sins.
Ah, a new face. Salve. You're up. Look. And then you... I saw enough, so I... But that can't... Needless... My... Oh... Nice of you in any case... Or at least... This... I've never... If... Strange bunch. If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. All I... What? I'm glad you... Someone who... But if you find them... Come back and...
Hey, saving. Oi.
Any news about my secret? Oh, that's all right. You wouldn't be there, but what? Oh, say some. I mean, which and good. The good question. It's best if I say. Well, my vote isn't for sale. Well, I'm an architect. Help out, but you mean given and there's an and of course so we unless glad and hey, I'm not glad and so oh but I'm not oh I'm glad of course nice to
All right. Let's try going up here and seeing who is in toilets. Cool. The only way out is whoever wrote this was interrupted, perhaps tragically. Communal public toilets. The holes must be designed for those. Designed for use with the sponge on a stick. Shame, really. Always remember they're watching. Sponge stick. Small stick with a sponge attached. This must be what the Romans used instead of toilet paper. It appears to be for communal use. Best to put this back immediately. I mean, like you could bring your own, I guess. Dysentery. Fountain producing fresh water, which is coming into the aqueduct behind it. If the water can enter the city via the aqueducts, then perhaps it's also a way to escape through them. Wooden bucket. Looks like the owner dropped it while fetching water and tragically never picked it up again. Is everything tragically? So that's the big temple up on the hill that they're talking about. I'm locking myself in. Don't try to follow me. Nothing good will come of it. Fletched arrow. I'll take it. That's a lot of denarius. And it doesn't say steel on it, so it's okay. This is fine. Okay, can't go that way. She's pointing. That away. Can't get out there. Doesn't much matter. Yeah. Sisyphus. Wonder if that's a zip line for later. Okay. Oh, hi.
Ulpius, no!
Hi. Oh dear. Okay. Was that it?
Salve, friend. It seems you've joined us at a very sad time.
All right, well then.
Young man today. Ulpius was his name. Oh,
yes.
He found himself in quite a lot of debt he was unable to repay, and was forced into debt bondage to Malleolus. He was deeply unhappy, but it doesn't do us any good to dwell. Now, where are my manners? I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a ghastly thing, is it not? How are you faring so far?
Feeling a bit on edge?
Really, on edge? Is that supposed to be funny? A man just
Okay,
tragically fell to his death, and you're making puns.
Didn't mean it like that.
Sorry, I'm just a little sensitive at the moment. My mistake, friend. But in any case, if you're not on edge, you've not been paying attention. But on the bright side, once you've been here a few months, it's slightly less terrifying anyway. We've all been where you are now. I remember when I first arrived. I used to lay awake at night contemplating the big questions. Why am I here? Is there a way? I still don't have any of the answers, I'm afraid. I don't think anybody does.
Okay, what's your story?
Here, in this place, the magistrate has me earning my keep by cleaning and pruning the gardens. It's not quite how I expected my life to go. I used to live in a lovely villa on the banks of the Tiber. I was even betrothed to a handsome young man from a prominent family. But long hours of menial labor for the good of the community has its own charms too, I suppose. Oh, much the same way as many of the others. When the fires came to Rome 7 months ago, my family and I fled for the Tiber. We were among the fortunate ones with enough coins for passage, but unfortunately, there were a lot of desperate people, and they boarded before we could depart. A scuffle broke out, and I was pushed overboard. The last thing I remember was the water, rising up to hit my cheekbone. I woke up by the river, near that shrine. Oh, that's all right. I'm sure it's all part of God's plan for me. Oh yes, of course. A slip of the tongue. If you like. I'm afraid not. Although, I did once hear someone gossiping down at Aurelia's tavern about a possible way out. I don't put a lot of stock in such rumors, but if you're desperate and wealthy, you could look into it, I suppose. If that doesn't work, then I suppose we're all stuck here until the gods decide our fate.
You're not very good at this.
I hope it works out. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. I'd like to think that if we all love our neighbours as ourselves and do to them as we'd have them do to us, then we'll all be fine. But on the other hand, I was always taught the intent of man's heart is evil from his youth, and that all of us are born with a tendency to... And that's where I get stuck. Is it true? You don't think that's a little naive? Innocent men and women, torn apart in arenas while thousands of Romans look on and cheer. I wish I shared your faith. Please keep that to yourself. I know you're not from around here, but things are very difficult for us right now. There was a terrible fire in Rome last year, and our emperor decided to make us his scapegoats. There were executions. It was horrible. Oh, thank you. You have no idea how much I appreciate that.
It's not like you've
Oh, so soon?
done anything.
Well, be gentle on yourself.
Okay, so... Eep. Alright, that was weird. Looks like there's some sort of shimmering going on down there. Great temple door's locked. What else could be done? Like, I'd like to go... It's a little morbid, and I, don't want to make anybody uncomfortable here, but I think I'd like to go and find out where Ulpius is. Ouch. See if that strange kind of shimmering sort of effect was actually a thing, or if it was just made up. Who are you?
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you.
Equitia.
I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
What's your story?
Oh my, take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?"
Sorry, what should I have
The
done?
proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office, by which time you would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity rather more indirectly. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is. So, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a...
How'd you end up here?
No, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here?
A young woman named Karen dragged me out of a river unconscious and sent me in here.
Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you?
Should it? It's an older name, but not uncommon where I'm from.
Older. I see. I wonder if... No,
What were you gonna say?
I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too?
Pretty much
I
everybody
really
fell in
think
the
you
river.
should. Go around and ask them what they remember, and see if you notice any patterns.
Being a bit coy.
I know. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too.
I may have already noticed
You
the pattern.
have? Then what is it?
Some people mentioned a
Yes.
river.
I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. What else?
Memory
That's
lapses.
true. I know I wasn't entirely sure how I wound up here. What else?
Stranger on the riverbank.
Yes, I also had such an encounter. It's as I feared. I think I understand what poor Livia has been going through. You mentioned earlier you met a young woman in the forest named Karen, yes?
Yes.
I see. And was this Karen by any chance
I don't
wearing a hood?
I think she was. She was wearing a hoodie.
Because I've seen her before. There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow me to the baths. But don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together.
Wouldn't want that to happen.
You have to do something. A man arrived in the baths. Help! You have to do something. A man arrived in the baths. Real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's going to break the golden rule.
Okay. I don't have a weapon.
None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now this man's bow is the only one in the city. You'll just have to improvise.
See what I can do.
Thank you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over.
Maybe we shouldn't meet in there?
What? We don't have time for this. I have to go.
Do not go in there.
Why?
Just trust me.
All right, fine. Come and find me in my bakery instead. Please be careful.
Wait, who are you?
Fabia, but now's not the time.
Trickster. Save Fabia's life. Okay. Where did... What the crap, man? good news is that the last save was right there with Fabia, so... That was crap. What the hell happened? Greek statue, probably of a goddess to whom this temple is dedicated. Perhaps a local Greek resident knows more about her. Wonder who I should talk to. Bust, Greek sculpture, young boy's head. Vase, Greek vase, painted with people and geometric shapes. Vase or an amphora? Unknown Greek general, helmet pulled off of his head. Cool. Okay.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is?
Oh no. Yes, as I'm worshipping in a small round shrine just inside the city, second building on your left.
Thank you. For your service to the Empire, I'll let you live for now, but you'd best make sure our paths don't cross again.
Alright, so we're gonna go in there. Save Fabia's life, because if I had suggested that she go in there, she was gonna get crushed by the rocks. I don't recall, like, that being a thing from earlier. Why would I have known that? There you go. I can Hasbo? Yes. Take it. Bounty notice. Emperor Nero has ordered the execution of cultist named Quinctius with different colored eyes. Loyal sons of Rome are ordered to hunt and execute the arsonist and murderer. Citizen from Aventine district of Rome. Virgil. Oh, right. Don't go in there because it. Yeah, okay. 40 to 50, average height, average build, dark hair, 1 green, 1 blue eyes. He's typically clean shaven, known associate of cultists, and suffers from delusions of grandeur. I mean. Fletched arrow, Denarius. I will just go ahead and take those and then walk away like nothing ever happened. So maybe if I had known that.
Hello? My name. I don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Come on. Take it.
What does it say? He said he gave all I. No. Hannibal Galerius. Like, if you help Hannibal said it, you're going to Galerius. What about the rule? Like, if you Hannibal.
Let's talk
My
about the
friend
treasure.
Hannibal used to look after me.
Yeah.
He said
Okay.
he gave me all I remember. Now nobody.
Alright.
Bye bye.
Alright, I have a flashlight. Myth of the Golden Rule by Dorotus the Younger. As per our custom, I shall be paying my respects to the god responsible for this city. For our continued prosperity and tranquil seclusion, he deserves our admiration, but I must depart from custom, for his attempt at imposing strict rule upon us is oppressive and overreaching, and deserving of our contempt. Righto. That's a hell of a zip line. Torture. Oh, haven't been here before. Possibly the last bottle of wine in the city. I'll take that for later. Yeah, this is way easier now that I actually have... Okay, so these guys were fighting in the last era. So this is going back to the previous group. Okay, and there are already butterflies there, so it's not like they were trying to lead me. At least not here. And 4 of arrows, take more. Okay. Got the it's time notice. the last bottle of wine in the city. Okay.
Do I need to ask Horatius to escort?
He's already gone. Alright, let's see. 1 second here. Spouse tripped on something. Doing okay. Let's save here. Ah, that's dumb. Alright, let's get to where everybody else is. And then, like you said, are they using this as cover? Shopping list. All right. Wait.
As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots, and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Malleolus.
Dacius.
Malleolus.
Galerius.
I abstain. I'm just here to observe.
Virgil.
Malleolus.
Rufius.
Malleolus.
And finally, Domitius.
Malleolus. Who else?
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Marcus Malleolus Gurges.
Hail, Magistrate Malleolus. I said, hail, Magistrate Malleolus. That's more like it.
me to live and breathe because the tyrant Sentius told you it was forbidden. For my first act as magistrate, I hereby announce a day of celebration to mark the end of an era. The myth of the Golden Rule is the law.
The Golden Rule is real, you idiot.
For his attempt to deceive us all,
Oh.
Sentius is hereby found guilty of treason against the Empire.
What? I have committed no crimes. This is madness.
His sentence, to fight for his life in gladiatorial combat against Domitius. Here and now for your entertainment.
You have no idea what you're doing. You're going to get us all killed.
Wait, I exercise my right as a Vestal priestess to pardon him. I will not allow you to do this.
You're showing your true colors now, priestess. Your corruption sickens me. Domitius, ignore her. Proceed.
This is insanity. You'll doom us all.
Lies. It is time the Golden Rule was exposed for what it is. A children's fable, exploited by a treacherous...
Shall I shoot him?
This is why he's in his gladiator gear. They've been planning this all along.
Shut up, all of you. The magistrate has spoken. I'm going to enjoy killing you, old man.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Okay. Alright, so there's where I need to go. Alright, Sentius. We're gonna have a chat. Proserpina, Roman goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. Good to know. Yeah.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and what you're doing with that bow on your back?
I'm Obi-Wan Pez. We've had this conversation before.
I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life.
Your name is Galerius. You're about to offer me, to take me to Sentius so you can tell me about the Golden Rule.
Oh, I guess how much did I drink last night? Sorry to have bothered you.
No problem. I have to go.
Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Worked real hard on it.
Huh. Nice. That looks sturdy. I'm sure it'll hold my weight.
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking.
If.
And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. I haven't quite summoned the courage to test it myself. But don't worry, it's completely safe. Probably.
Thanks, you seem capable. Perhaps you could take care for some of urgent problems for me, whatever.
Oh,
Man.
sounds serious. I'm listening.
I need you to stop Fabia from entering the empty shrine until the new arrival. He'll find what he's looking for in there.
Alright, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood.
That's it. Now, go as fast as you can.
I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
That's pretty awesome. Go find another bow. That's also interesting because I am also carrying everything that I had before. So, good. Smack. I'm sure that's comfortable. completely safe. And it goes directly over that little island. That's where I was trying to go earlier. Ah, this is the underground city I was looking at from up above.
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades.
Caveat emptor. That's a good one.
Their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
This again. You're in a world of your own, aren't you? Ah, you're here. I'm so glad. And I hope I'm not being too forward. There's a light in your eyes I've never seen before. A certain learning and sophistication.
Uh-huh. Oh, stop it. No, please go on.
What was that? Some kind of joke? If it was, it wasn't funny. I take back what I said. Suddenly, I don't find you so intriguing anymore. Let's just forget that ever happened, so we can at least do business.
Achievement unlocked. Smooth
What
talker.
brings you to my tavern?
What's your story?
Ugh, let it go. Nothing's going to happen between...
Do you know a way out of here?
You know, normally, I'd expect you to buy me a drink before asking if I want to get out of here. I guess that went right over your head. No, as a matter of... I'm happy to tell you all about it, but this is valuable. So...
Tell me more about what I've been
I
buying.
can't tell you too much, or you'd figure it out for yourself. But I promise you...
Why haven't you used it?
Simple. It's a one-way trip, and I'm not ready to go just yet. I like my life here. One day, maybe, but not now.
Isn't it kind of unethical to keep all these people trapped here, knowing there's a way out?
I think of it this way. I have something of value, and I'm willing to share it for a price. That's not unethical. That's just good business. Now, do you want it or not?
Seems like a scam.
If I took your money without giving you what I promised, I'd be breaking the golden rule, wouldn't I? And I have no interest in doing that. What's the matter? Can't afford it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, perhaps you could take out a loan. I understand Malleolus has lent money to others.
What do you think about the
I
golden
just try
rule?
not to think about it. Drink helps with that. As the saying goes, to drink is human, so we drink. Certainly.
Gossip.
For 10 denarii.
That might be worth it.
Have you met Livia? She used to do my hair until one day. Now she just stands around, caked in filth, muttering nonsense to herself. It's a real shame. Now I have to do my own hair. I
There's
hear
another
that
10.
if Malleolus is elected, he's gonna throw a small festival to celebrate, with entertainment and everything. Can't wait to find out what it is. Whatever you like. All right. See ya.
I already know what it is. In fact, that might help convince a couple of people that this is a stupid idea.
You, Tantalus, cannot catch the drops of water, and the tree you grasp at eludes you. Just as the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls. But it does not notice the crowds that come.
What's your story?
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some crowd the Forum, some the house of the ruler of the depths. Others follow their trades, imitating their previous lives.
I'm sorry, I have no idea what
They
that means.
never do.
Do you know a way out?
There is only a downward path. gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions.
Do you need help?
Help me? You cannot help me. I have seen things. A pattern, a terrible pattern. It is better for you if you remain ignorant. Pandora's box must stay closed. I'll say no more.
What do you think about
The
the golden rope?
bloodless shadows. This is their punishment.
Right. Tell me about the pattern you saw.
You think you wish to know, but you do not.
It's fair.
It is better for you if you remain ignorant.
I'll be going.
The newly arrived are ignorant of the road before them.
Literally. That's why I don't immediately get out of here. Galerius for Magistrate. Countered by, I would rather drink Aurelius's special brew. Aurelia's. Prototype. Looks like someone's been hard at work at a prototype zipline. Poem by Galerius. My life has been torturous. The 7 labors of Hercules, orphaned, defeated, and enslaved. Yet I would suffer it all again gladly, because each loss, wound, and tragedy brought me to you. Radiant as Rome's sacred flame, your bright warmth nourishes my soul. I know I can never touch you any more than I can hold Vesta's flame, but to watch and love you from afar, bathing in your glow, is enough. My. Galerius. Let me guess, it's for Aurelia. Fermented fish sauce used as a condiment. Whoever lives here must love the stuff. Got him. Well, I'm gonna have to look that one up. Oh, interesting. Ex offi Nascafri. Scavriex. Interesting. Offina. Scavriex. Huh. Okay, getting close. So this is, I tried typing this all in, and it translated, or asked me if I want to translate from Telugu. So that's interesting. Which is very weird because that's the official language of the Indian state of Andhra Pradesh. Uh-huh. Okay. Got 'em. Ah. Latin. Got him. That's weird. Somehow. It's interesting. Garum translates directly to wounds. I'm not sure I want that as my fish sauce. Alright, scutum. No, wounds. Like somebody's been hurt. First Italica must belong to Horatius. Yeah, that's fair enough. Cavalry helmet, enclosed face mask, plume made of dyed horsehair. Yeah. Good lord, he's got a lot of bottles of this stuff. There, that's yeah. It's still a little weird because that I don't know. The significance of that particular word in context with a fermented fish sauce just seems a little weird. Carving of a lion looks Egyptian. Strange old vase painted with geometric shapes. Definitely not Roman. I think this is probably Lucrezia's home. Note from Kabash. Kabash to Kabash. I told Lucrezia about the dreams I've been having. She said it might help her divine their meaning if I wrote them down. It happened again last night. Okay, so this is Kabash's house. I don't think I've ever met him. Once again, he introduced himself as Kerti and told me he dragged me from the river. He seemed to smirk as he said his name, as if it meant something I could not understand. Hey, Karen. Indeed, the name rings a bell, but I cannot for the life of me remember where I heard it. I do not think I will sleep soundly until I know who is Kerti. Okay, so I need to talk with Georgius about the statue of the woman, the Greek woman, who I think is probably going to be one of the one of the Greek gods that I can't think of at the moment.
The 49 Belades fetch again with incessant labor.
Model arena.
The water they
Small
have
wooden
lost.
model of the arena, possibly Verona, which was completed in the 1st century, still in use today. Slightly different uses. Okay, I'm not seeing anything useful here. Dice tower. Hey! Veni Vidi Vici. Metal dice tower designed to stop people from cheating when rolling dice. Clearly, cheating must have been a problem among Romans. Ex hinc via sola est. The only way out is... Whoever wrote this was interrupted, perhaps tragically. Make the poor lady hold of Elda. Beer vat. Layer of small insects are drowning on the surface. Lovely.
You stay away from my money.
Oh, I see. I'm just gonna leave that here. E. glass mirror, vial, powders, all that good stuff.
I love your... Unless you want me to slip some hemlock into your next drink. Get out!
Jeez.
Oh, do us all a favour and drink hemlock, Caput Murder.
You know, you sneak into one person's bedroom and they just flip out at you. Stone carving. Phallic charm, thought by the Romans to have divine protective properties. Circular stone disc with a symbol of a fish carved into it. Looks like it might be religious in nature. Is that why nobody streams this game? Incomplete note. This is your final warning center. Hey, I think we found who it is. What was it again? Rufius. So I think maybe we'll follow Rufius and see if he's the one who's going to do something stupid. Training dummy. Demetrius has been using this to train. Wonder what he's been training for. I mean, I know now. Theophilus had an orgy with 4 girls here and disappointed all of them equally. Gladiator shield. Alright, let's try to find Equitius again. Equitia. There she is.
A new face.
Keep an eye out for
Arve,
Scintilla, will
and
you?
may Vesta watch over you. I'm
I've been asking people about how they wound up here trying to find a pattern.
Interesting. I'm not sure why you're telling me. Yep. What else? That's... What else? Yeah, it... Let me ask you this. And did... I see. Because I've seen her before. But don't follow...
So let's grab that. Wooden bow. Fascinating. All right. Let's go in. All right, where'd she go?
All right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Karen.
I'm sure it wasn't.
It was C-H-A-R-O-N, as in Charon, the ferryman of the dead. Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx.
We appear to be dead.
The river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. I take it you know what this means.
We're all dead.
I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments.
All right.
It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them if I can.
So we're dead.
That was my first thought too. In the old stories, the underworld was where the souls of the deceased were taken. But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. So I'm afraid I don't know.
Okay, tell me about Karen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman, or even Greek, you would know these stories. Each of them is slightly different, whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the bank of a river. It was said that he'd help the new arrival cross, only if they could pay him with a coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's obol, we called it. Of course, an obol was a kind of Greek coin, because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks.
Why didn't you all recognize Karen immediately?
To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the poets described, and he, she, they seem to appear to different people in different guises. You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named Kerti, and Rufius described meeting a stranger named Kumut Tabal wearing an eagle headdress. But whatever form this stranger took, they were always wearing a hood of some sort, and their name always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve this riddle is if your paths cross again.
Why are there so few people in the underworld?
Let's see. In the stories, Charon would always require a coin as payment for passage across the river. But that never made any sense to me. What does an ancient immortal being need with coins? In our case, it seems
Why does
Charon
God
didn't take the
need a
coins we had.
starship?
He or she merely checked we had one in our possession. So, maybe there's something special about the coins each of us had on us. That might explain why we wound up here, but so many others did not.
Why are we trying to keep this from me?
No. I mean,
Were you
I
trying
had
to?
my suspicions, especially after Livia's ramblings, but I would never have figured it out without your help, I promise you. Now that we know where we are, we have to figure out what to do about it, if we don't want to be cast into gold for eternity. We don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular about heroes in the underworld. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter. Orpheus, a Thracian poet. Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra, and Aeneas, a Trojan hero.
We know where Sisyphus
Hercules
is.
was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have two options: to confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide.
Can't we just escape the way we came in?
It's a reasonable question, but the problem is, this place is fairly well designed to keep us here. There's no way to climb up the shaft. And even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the golden rule. We know that, thanks to the writings left behind by those who've tried.
I've noticed you seem uncomfortable calling the god of the underworld by his name. Why is that?
All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple. He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Do so at your own peril.
God's underground was used before. People seem to know something. Yeah. Might be like a, unconscious thought, some sort of bias. Tell me more about confronting Pluto head-on.
Is everyone so blunt where you're from? Oh. That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the Golden Rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld, but he was a demigod. Forgive my candor, but you are no Hercules.
Yeah, well. Hercules couldn't manipulate time.
Are you telling me that you can? I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means, but if that's true, then perhaps you stand a chance. So, if you want to confront him, I'll help you as much as I can. Who knows? Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules one day.
One can
But
hope.
first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who.
Voldemort?
And for that, you'll need to enter the great temple overlooking the city. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques missing from its base. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored and angered our divine keeper. If you could recover and replace all 4 of those missing plaques, I imagine he might be willing to receive an audience again.
Can you tell me more about the obelisk?
It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides and a pyramid-shaped head that stands before the great temple, a dedication to the god of this place. You'll find them all over Rome, but of course they were looted from Egypt many years ago. It seems one of them made its way here too, although how is a mystery. However, this one is unusual in that each of the 4 sides is decorated in a different style: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and another I don't recognize. That means you'll need to recover 4 different plaques: Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and a 4th, a mystery plaque.
American.
Good question. To answer that, we first need to ask who would have defaced the obelisk in the first place. It would have had the god's name engraved into it, so it may be that whoever desecrated it wanted that name to be forgotten. And there's only one group of people I know of who might want to do that. There's a cult in Rome that often argued there is only one true god. Theirs, of course. They've been known to start fires, as well as deface religious monuments whose existence challenged their beliefs. If I were you, I'd go looking for them. Of course, they've all been in hiding since the fire last year, so finding them won't be easy.
I know where to find one of them.
I did hear a rumor they have a secret shrine somewhere in the city. Perhaps, if you could find that, you might be able to recover the Roman plaque.
Alright. Greek. Nope,
Perhaps
Egyptian.
Kabash, our Egyptian resident, will be able to tell us. Unfortunately, he disappeared weeks ago. But I did hear Aurelia is peddling rumors about him at the tavern, so perhaps you could talk to her, or just take a look in his room.
I've been there.
I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the local Greek fellow, Georgius. His store is in the forum.
What about the mystery plaque?
I'm afraid you're on your own with that one. But perhaps finding the other three will illuminate the way.
Yeah. Alright. Tell me more about escaping with the help of Proserpina or a god.
As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas was guided to the exit. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a brawler about their own heroic deeds, so they should be taken with a grain of salt. First, Proserpina. What we do know about her is, well, it's a grim tale. It's said the god of the underworld abducted and dragged her here against her will, forcing her into marriage.
She might be willing to work against him to help us.
If the stories are true, then I suppose so. The problem is, how do we communicate with her without being noticed by her captor? Leaving that aside for a moment, there is also the possibility of a spirit guide. I don't suppose you've come across one of those in your travels?
I hear the female statues whispering to me every now and then.
Truly? And you're only bringing this up now?
Yeah, well.
Then again, I suppose you were worried I'd think you were as mad as Navia. Can you tell me more? Is it the same voice? What kinds of thing does it say?
It's always the same voice, and she's helpful, if a little cryptic.
Perhaps she's a benevolent spirit. Or perhaps... Perhaps you're hearing the voice of Proserpina herself. If she has indeed been abducted, it would make sense for her to speak in cryptic whispers to avoid detection. Tell me, has she told you anything that might lead you to the way out?
Not yet.
Oh, I see. Well, let me know if you hear anything that might be a thread through this labyrinth. Alright.
Ready to get started?
I would suggest not discussing this with anyone. The best we can do for them is to let them remain oblivious for as long as possible. As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this terrible secret all this time. Perhaps it would comfort her to know she's not alone. In any case, time is of the essence, so you'd best begin. May Fortuna guide you. Although you may not need her with Proserpina on your side.
Right, that's where I fell in. Always remember they're watching. Alright. Mosaic. Ancient Roman mosaic depicting a godlike figure turning a man into gold. Cool. Alright, so think it's probably going to do it for me pretty soon here. Oh. Maybe if I talk with Georgius first.
Welcome
He's
to
right
my
here.
Cambi store. Greetings. I'm Georgie.
I know. You want to ask me where I'm from, but I really need to ask you some questions.
Friend, your words intrigue me more and more.
Do you know where I might find a Greek plaque?
And in a city full of Romans, you are asking me? because I am Greek. Let me tell you something about Greeks and Romans.
Racist.
My name is Georgios, yes. But the Romans, they do not care. They hear me say Georgios, and they think, ah, he must mean Georgios. Good Roman name. They do this all the time. They see us worshipping Zeus, they copy us, but call him Jupiter. They take Hades and call him Pluto, Persephone, Proserpina. I am flattered that they copy our ideas, but why must they change the names? Do they want credit for making it all up? Do they want to forget where it came from?
Usually.
At first, I pull my hair out. After a while, I give up, and I become Georgios the Roman. I accept the world is Roman. Plus, I have no hair left to pull. But my point is this. If you want to know who stole an old Greek name, look no further than the sticky-fingered Romans. The plague you seek was pilfered from a collection of old Greek relics by none other than Dooley. He cannot help it. Like a typical Roman, he likes shiny things, especially those that once belonged to my people. And besides, it makes him happy. So I say, let him keep it. I believe he still has it with him, in his cell, just opposite the Temple
In
of
the set.
I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
Actually,
Hello again, my sir.
who are you gonna vote
That,
for?
my friend, is... I do not... Nothing.
Okay.
I hope that our...
You there? I'm sorry to trouble you, but I couldn't help but notice that no idea how you managed to get your hands on it, especially in the light of our dear old... And before you ask, no, I wouldn't dream of trying to buy it. But I would like to propose...
Go on.
Tell me, do you have any idea how people here end up as golden statues?
The statues come to life and fire golden bows. Golden bows,
And here I
arrows
was
at
thinking
them.
I was the only one to figure it out. In any case, supposedly one or two of those arrows is enough to turn a full-grown man into gold. Now, of course, that is a travesty, a terrible, horrible waste of human life, which has to be stopped. And yet, on the other hand, I can't help but think of a tale told by that Greek fella Aesop, the goose that laid the golden egg. With the ability to transmute organic matter into gold, one could create infinite wealth. Use your imagination. Golden animals, insects, trees and plants. The Midas touch without the drawbacks. We are talking riches beyond imagining. And even if we were to split all those riches between the two of us, half of infinite wealth is still infinite. Interested?
I think the golden goose is meant to be a cautionary
Look,
tale.
I might have skimmed over that one, but don't be so pedantic. Are you interested or not?
Sounds grossly unethical.
I'm not suggesting we use such a bow on people. There's no profit in breaking the golden rule.
In that case, go on.
Excellent. So the first question is, how do we get our hands on one of those golden bows? Now, I have a plan, but first, tell me, are you familiar with the story of the goddess Diana?
I am.
Good. Then none of this should be a surprise to you. Diana is our goddess of the hunt, the moon, and the underworld, depending on who you ask. The one thing priests and poets agree on is that she carried with her a golden bow and a quiver of golden arrows. And it just so happens that there is a shrine of Diana in this very forum, with a prominent statue of the goddess herself. And would you like to guess what she's holding in her hand?
Golden bow.
Precisely. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in that temple staring at it, trying to figure out how to retrieve it without breaking you-know-what.
But you want me to steal?
Gods, no! If you tried that, we'd all be dead within moments, I'm sure. No, here's what I propose. You give your bow to me, I cover it in a thin layer of gold leaf, and we create a replica of a golden bow. Then you enter the shrine, extinguish the braziers, and under cover of darkness, swap out the fake for the original. It's not theft exactly, it's more of a trade.
Yeah, no.
But make no mistake, this is a dangerous path, and there's no way of knowing where it will lead. But in my experience, all the best adventures begin with a risky first step. Now, you must have questions. Ask away.
Uh-huh. Isn't that extremely
When
dangerous?
Prometheus stole fire from the gods and became a hero to all mankind.
Prometheus was also punished for eternity, if I recall
Only because
correctly.
he was silly enough to get caught.
Why not do it
I'm more
yourself?
of an ideas man, whereas you're obviously the more... Because the gods would...
Uh-huh.
So...
I'll do it, but don't ever call me partner.
Now, if you'll hand over your bow, this is a quality. And here we are. Now I've gone and unlocked the Shrine of Diana for you, so as quick as you can. It's just at the end of the street on the left.
Awful idea.
Salve, Dooley. How are you doing today?
I'm sad. Am I going to die in here?
I don't think so, my friend. It's election day today. Perhaps our new magistrate will be kinder than Sentius and let you out.
I hope so. Galerius, what happens when you die?
You're not going to die anytime soon, Dooley.
My mother told me when you... Hello.
About that Greek plaque in
Do
yourself.
you like it? It's shiny.
Hey, please have it.
But,
What's it gonna take? Yeah.
well, if you get me out of here, then I'll...
Let me talk to the magistrate about getting you
Galerius
out.
already tried that.
Maybe it's time we have a new
Like-
magistrate. So all I need to do is persuade everyone to vote for Galerius?
Yeah, Galerius will let me out. Then you can go.
Never mind.
Bye-bye. Hello.
Yeah, I'm trying to leave.
Bye-bye.
You look well, my Sartori. Hello again. That, my friend, I do nothing. I hope that
I mean, like, telling them it's a horrible idea isn't enough.
Salve and welcome. Need something?
What's your story?
There's not much to tell. I mostly just bake bread and...
How'd you end up here?
I suppose it all started about 8 months ago. I was living in Rome with my family when I got sick. Terrible timing. My pa had just arranged a husband for me. A fisherman's son. I was about to meet him for the first time when I came down with an awful fever. I spent the next week in bed. Pa paid priests to make offerings to Asclepius, a white rooster, then a goat. But nothing worked. In the end, they decided I'd do better outside the city. Clean air in the countryside would do me good, they said. But after about a day in a carriage on the Appian Way, I was getting worse, not better. I remember closing my eyes for a bit, and I guess I must have fell asleep, because when I opened them again, I was in a forest by a river. I suppose the driver took off with his fee and left me for dead. Can't say I blame him. I wouldn't have wanted to catch what I had either. Anyway, I went searching for help, stumbled across the trapdoor temple, and here I am.
Sorry to hear that.
It's nice of you to say, but you should save your sympathy. Lots of people here need it more than I do.
You know way out?
What? You've been here a few moments and you're desperate to get out already? Good people here. Galerius works hard on the farm so I can put food on our tables, and Lucretia tries to keep... My friend Georgius is always mending our clothes, and Virgil... Well, I'm just saying, there are worse places you could live out your days.
Well, I don't belong
Well,
here.
I can tell from your funny accent you're not from around here, but that doesn't mean you don't belong, does it?
What do you think about the golden rule?
I try not to worry about it. I mean, if people are nice to each other, we won't have anything to worry about, will we?
And therein lies the problem. Have you met people?
You're funny. I bet my friend Georgius will like you. And those interesting clothes of yours.
Yeah, well.
And I'm sure he'd love to chatter about the Golden Rule with you too. He'll be just across the forum in his shop. All right.
Gonna get going.
Thanks again for taking care of our problem. I won't forget it.
Yeast, salt, water, flour. Yep. Designed to be pulled apart in wedges. Appears to be freely available to anyone who wants it. Alright. I think I'll pass on taking more than one. Maybe I'll take one per loop. Alright. Inventory. Have 1,000 denarii. Fake golden bow and a wooden bow, so I do have both of those.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside.
Oppius the thief stole my purse, and I, whoever wrote this, did not get to finish. Shot.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a another stoic, perhaps. We've all been where you are now. I remember when I used to lay awake at night contemplating the big questions. Why am I here? Is there a way out? I still don't have any of the answers, I'm afraid. I don't think anybody does.
Looking for a Roman plaque that was removed from the
Even
obelisk.
if I had seen it, and I'm not saying I have, I couldn't in good conscience give it.
Perhaps the magistrate would like to know about your beliefs.
What you're doing is disgusting, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, well.
Shame on you.
Try again next loop, I guess.
Even if I had seen it, and I'm not...
Fair enough.
Alright, well...
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no.
No.
No. Orpheus, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your balance...
That's the idea.
What? What?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the...
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard for all of us. Please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
Please, Ulpius. Help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what... Thank you. And please, choose your words carefully.
Let me guess. You're going to lecture me on how...
I was just gonna ask you what's wrong.
I screwed up my life. That's what's wrong. I borrowed money, and when I couldn't pay it back, I wound up in debt bondage. I'll be stuck slaving away for that Culus Cumulatis Malleolus for the rest of my life. I am out. Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no! I can't believe he went through with it.
Man.
Oh Lord. That poor lamb.
Was that my fault?
That was not your fault. There's no way you could have given him what he wanted, moments after you arrived. Well, I suppose it means suicide isn't a sin under the Golden Rule. So I guess that means whichever god is responsible for it. I'll have to let everyone know what happened. And I guess Malleolus will have to clean up the mess in his villa. It's of his own making, after all. And I'd best pray for poor Ulpius.
I urinated into Malleolus' villa from above and got away with it. It's fair. So this is the Great Temple. Yeah. Down. Not from here. Oh, there we go. From way up there. All right. Oh no. Yep. That was a stupid idea. Alright. No. Really? Do I have to go through it again? Yeah. Damn it.
Salve, welcome. Ah, another. We've all. I still. Even if I had. Please keep that. There was a terror. Even if I had seen. All right. So
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no! Ulpius, what are you doing?
That's the.
What?
Why do you?
I know. Please.
I'm sorry, but.
Please, help him. I don't know, but it's a crime for slaves to take their own lives. And a debt bond. Thank you.
Let me get. You're not going to trick me. I'm no coward. Like what? I'm stuck slaving away for that Culus Cumulatis for the rest of my life. You're just saying that to buy. You must think I am out. Wherever you are.
I have money.
Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
I could just, I could pay that off. Okay.
That was well, I'll have to let her, and I'd best.
Again with the... No. Jeez. Again with the ivy. Can't support my weight. There's got to be something that I can find. It's going to save his life. Eventually. Okay. Okay, so I can basically hit the zip line and almost immediately jump off, which should get me to the island. I suppose, like I said before, I'm wondering if that's Hemlock. Nope. Alright, not that immediately. What? Your Maglight's not waterproof?
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you... How is it possible that you've
I'm reliving the same day over and over again.
You're toying with me, right? You're a bit like Sisyphus. Yeah, that's the one. Sisyphus was a Greek king a long time ago. For daring to think he could outsmart, he was forced to push a great boulder up to the top of a hill, forcing him to start over. Actually, now that I think about it, there are a bunch of old stories about the god. Tantalus was made to grasp at fruit on a tree he could never quite reach. the Belades had to keep fetching water in a sieve. Oh, and Ixion was strapped to a wheel going round and round forever. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were. Anyway, I don't know which god you managed to upset to get yourself into this position, friend, but you seem all right to me. So, I'll tell you what. I'll keep doing whatever I can to help you. And you just focus on finding a way to break the cycle you're in.
You're a good man, Galerius.
Oh, that's kind of you to say. Now, I'm going to keep your secret. Although, it's not as if I'll remember this next time we talk anyway, right? Oh, and if our conversations ever start to annoy you, just tell me you're busy. I know when I'm not wanted. May fortune smile on you, friend.
Give me a code word. Something that only you would know. So next time I can just tell you, hey, I'm serious, and you told me to tell you this. No. Nope. Too long. But even if I spend the entire loop doing this, well, hopefully it's worth it. Oop, oh, so close. No idea if it's actually that close. Too far. Man. Alright, if I don't make this... Oh, no! It's a pretty flower. I wasn't able to activate it.
Salve!
And like, I think I could probably just ask Galerius what kind of flower that is, and it would be done. No, I mean just like, you know, one of those. I've seen this in some other piece of media where they're like, okay, just tell me like a thing that only you would know, so that so that you'd know that I was telling the truth. You.
Name's Rufius. Better watch your...
It's your story.
Can't talk long. Got the families from Seleucia and Tigris. Babylon province. But I've been roaming a long time now. Even joined the legions. The 6th.
How'd you end up here?
Same way as everyone. Because we're all in grave danger. Magistrate made me toss it in the... If you were dealing with... Nobody is supposed to know about that. Look, I haven't been... I get stirred up by things that shouldn't bother me, and then there's There's the statue. You want to help me? Do what Lucretia had. Ah, you are... No idea what you're talking about? Yes, so what? And why should I? The one true God says that for... well, I don't know. Maybe God hasn't noticed yet. But when he does, we're going to have
Heart
a problem.
attack. I don't think I know that one.
Well, I wouldn't get so angry if he wasn't so... you know. It makes me... uncomfortable. I don't like where you're going with this. You'd better take that back before I make you. I have no idea what you're talking about. And unless you want your... I have nothing to say to you, Caput.
Everybody really loves calling me shithead. Alright. No, I need to go in there and you need to move. Hmm.
Vote for Malleolus for a free drink at my tavern. Oh, do us all a favour and drink hemlock.
I have nothing to say to you.
Ah, back again. Certainly. All I ask is a reason. That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work hard and save your coins... Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it. Well, if you did that, you'd break the golden rule, and we'd share the same fate as the last lot who lived here. Don't you dare. Ah, back again, I'm afraid not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but some people here are a little... You mean, how did I end up here? That... All right. Well, you see, I'm in the... Had myself a nice little shop in Rome, just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, hoping to escape by boat. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing through a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it, and I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin, so I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done. Of course I chose the cart. I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. and in one swift motion she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber. Naturally, I dived in after it, hoping to salvage my fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because everything went black. When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank not far from here, with nothing in the world but a single silver coin. Thank you, friend. It turns out it might have been a stroke of good fortune, because this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you. There must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here. Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable Very well. Malleolus. I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep his daughter safe. What hope does he have of protecting us? Not going to happen. Very well. Another time.
Gotta go. Oh, there's the goose.
survey. We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I...
We've had this conversation before.
Wait, if I understand correctly, someone is about to break the Golden Rule, forcing me to create a portal in time to bring you here?
Yeah, something like that.
I must have entrusted you with figuring out who the culprit is. Only, I assume we failed, and you had to start over. Is that about right? If so, what happened?
I couldn't stop it from being broken. I didn't do it. That was not my fault.
It's unfortunate, but all that matters now is that you make use of what you've learned and gathered, and do better next time. Now, I assume you sought me out again for a reason?
Like you to release Dooley.
You mean Duilius? Releasing him is out of the question, I'm afraid. Perhaps you're not aware he was...
What exactly
Look,
did
I
he
can
do?
see where you're going with this. You think me cruel. I assure you, it was not so long ago, during the Republic. The law of the 12 Tables would have required that he be killed as soon as he was born, owing to his deformities. Here, we see to it that he has food, water, and shelter, and, most importantly, he is able to continue living. A privilege that would be taken away from all of us, were he to be released and commit the crime of trespass. The man has no self-discipline, poor comprehension of what is going on around him, and is an incorrigible rule breaker. I will not jeopardize the lives of my people so that one man can go free. Now, was there something else?
Look, if you want me to solve this... Yeah.
Ask then.
Got anything else?
Do you ever stare at a problem for what's needed here is...
Could it be related to Scintilla's disappearance?
Ah, so you know about that already. That was over 3 weeks ago, and whatever happened to her... Still, if you happen to find her and return her to me... Do you ever stare at what's needed? Ah, that was still...
Come on, tell me what you think.
Well, all right.
Okay.
There are those who wish to... Frankly, their selfishness and recklessness risk destabilizing the entire city. Good. Now, was there something else you wanted to discuss? Of course. What is it?
Figured out how to stop at least one person from breaking it. What happens now?
If you stopped one person from breaking it and you're still here, then there must be someone else about to break it still. Allow me to explain. When I discovered the ritual to Proserpina, the instructions came with a warning about paradoxes. The crux of it is this. If you do anything to change the course of history in such a way that your very being here is impossible, you will have created a paradox. To illustrate, when the Golden Rule is broken, I will open the doorway that will bring you here to prevent it from being broken. If you manage to succeed in saving our lives, then I will have no reason to open the doorway, and you will never have come here. A paradox. You see? The same thing would happen if you, say, inadvertently, allowed me to die. If I can't summon you, then you can't be here, obviously. If either of those things were to happen, I am given to understand you would be flung back to your original time, having changed the course of history for us and yourself. So the fact that you are still here means someone is going to break the Golden Rule, and there is yet work to do. Understand?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, it looks like you'll have to continue your investigation. Of course. Yeah? Why do you say that? Why then did you say... it doesn't matter. It looks like you'll have to continue. Of course. Yeah? Why do you say that? Why then did you say... it doesn't matter. It looks like... Of course. What is... Yeah? Why do you say that? Why then did you say... It looks like... Of course. Yeah. Why do you...
If he wins the collection, he's going to convict you of treason and sentence you to death.
What? That's... I'm speechless. How do you know? Well then, you must stop him from winning the election. I can't be seen to be involved in this. You'd better not waste any time. And Meswada, good. Good, thank you.
Alright, close enough. Alright. So we're going to save it here and quit for the night. This has been fun. Gotta figure out what to do. It's gonna actually help us figure out how to move forward in this timeline, but the music is very pretty as well. I like it. Alright, so I think tonight we're gonna go meet up with Atreyu, who is doing some Phasmo, and, you know, it's Halloween weekend, so of course it's appropriate. Hope y'all have a good time.